Howdy, folks. Welcome to the show. This time tomorrow. The transfer window will be well and truly slammed shut until 2024, January the 1st to be exact. I'm sure we're all aware of this. What we should all be aware of, what the fan base aren't all aware of, is that this has been a terrible transfer window. Underwhelming. Awful. Some people are giving it a 6, 7 out of 10. No chance. If it ends like I'm not happy today. I'm not happy. If you haven't gathered that from my tone. This could be, if it ends like this could be a relegation team's transfer window. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not saying we're going to be in a transfer in a relegation battle. Could be with this defense. Could be. Van der Ven's already injured. Who's coming in for Van der Ven? Sanchez, definitely. Did you see Sanchez against Fulham? Wow. Imagine Romero gets injured this week. We got Sanchez and Dier in there. We got to do some business in the next 20 hours. You know, I'm joking to myself about not being in a relegation battle. Who knows? We've got no one to bail us out now. Son can't score. Kane's gone. 30 goals. What are we doing? Unbelievable. This club singing songs about Ange, this, Ange, that, singing new songs about our players that have played twice, and we're gonna fight for the title. We get smashed up by Fulham. Smashed up by him. It should have been 3 or 4-0 in the first half. It's absolutely shocking. The fan base got to look at themselves. Because Levy and his cronies, they do listen to social media. They do listen to in-stadium protests. Social media, get on their backs. Don't be happy with this because we beat Bournemouth. Don't be happy with this. We've got less than 24 hours. This is a terrible transfer window. Outside of Maddison, this could easily be a relegation battle in teams transfer window. Easy. Lots to talk about. Transfers in, transfers out. Let's get cracking. Let's see who's in the comments. Please make sure you like, sub, hit the bell. Get your super chats in. It all helps the channel grow. We've dried up a bit when it comes to the subs. It's dried up. So if you're watching and you haven't subbed, please sub. We're still a long way from 3K subs. Would be fantastic if we can get there. By, I don't know. I always put milestones out there. Let's say Halloween or my birthday, 22nd of October. Yeah, let's get cracking. Let's see what people are saying. Right, Gary O'Neill. Big up, Tommy. Always a supporter of this channel. Someone I respect a great deal, Gary O'Neill, and his daughter when she comes on into the chat. Tony Rodriguez as well. Big up, T. 2 T's. How you doing? Elias Krishan. Big up, Tommy. Elias. What a guy. He speaks from the heart too. Gets a lot of jip, Elias. But I tell you what, he says things that many people don't, whether you agree with him or not. Big up, Tommy in chat. Lily White Lane. Robbie, what's happening? my man? So young. So knowledgeable, this guy. So young and so knowledgeable. Big up, Robbie. Big up all. Also, it's definitely a Kill Bill marathon after this intro. Could I hop on Tommy Lily White? I can't even get my words out. I need some juice. I'm frothing with anger looking at all the other teams doing the transfers. It's not just players in, it's players out. It's incredible. We've had this deadwood for so long. We can't get players out, especially for money. Last season, Bergwijn and Carter Vickers, they're the only 2 players we got money for. So we knew all this lot were coming back. And this lot have come back. Have we sold them this summer? No. We sold Winks. Oh, we sold one other player. I was corrected on Twitter the other day. Oh, we have sold someone else. We sold Harry Kane, our greatest ever player. One of our greatest ever players, 30 goals this season. We have sold someone else other than Winks. 30 goals he got for us last season. 250. He's going to be. When he comes back, he's going to come back to the Premier League. He's going to be the highest Premier League goal scorer, highest Spurs goal scorer. But we sold him. But I do these streams solo, lunchtime scoops. But I'm definitely having Robbie on and more guests in the future. Big up Robbie. After the embarrassment against Fulham, we are doomed. It's not just Fulham. We should have seen it coming. We didn't need to go crazy after the Bournemouth game. It's Bournemouth. Solanke up front. Even Man United. Man United is a good win because we haven't been beating Man United recently, so it is a very good win. But, Rashford, Garnacho, Anthony, we haven't played against a good attack. Even Fulham the other night, they sold Mitrovic. They got Munoz up front. Brentford didn't have Visa. We drew 2-2 with Brentford. I mean, they had Visa. They didn't have Tony. You haven't come up against a good attack. You haven't come up against a good team yet. Got 7 points from 9. We're going to challenge for the league. Howdy, celery agent. What's going on? What's going on? Coaches must be doing something really, really intensive work with young. Must be doing some really, really intensive work with young Phillips, hopefully. Must be doing. Oh, you were talking about, because we haven't got centre-backs, we're going to put Phillips in. Phillips played 7 games for Blackburn last season. 7 games. 3 days after mine, Tommy, and that's in the Championship. Barry, what's happening? What's happening, man? Emma Goat. Nah, you were wrong. Celery agent, big up, Barry. Goguma, how you doing? Goguma? Long time no see on my lives. How's it going? Anyong, Goguma, Eliash, Anyong. Lots of love between the people. Goguma, hello again. Chigu, celery agent Chigu. I need to get. It is Korean. You are Korean, aren't you, Goguma? I need to. I need to read up on that. We have got so many Korean fans, good ones, great ones. Love Angry Tommy. Anyong Hase. No, I'm not. I'm gonna skip those because I don't have a clue. Can you put translator on this? Hope you have. I'm sure it's full of love. For everyone. Hope you have a fun and safe trip. Only 4 days, but it would be nice to get away. Where you going, Nick? I just come back from Corfu. It was good. Emma Goat all day, every day. 2 games played, Emma Goat, no clean sheet. 2 games not played, 2 clean sheets. That's what I'm going to say. He can defend, can't defend. Everyone says the guy can defend, he can't defend. Do you see against Visa? It just makes me... Do you see against Visa? Average attacker, just completely out of position. But he scored. Can't complete a cross. Can't defend. Needs to go. I knew he weren't going this summer. He's all right as backup to Porro this season. We've got bigger problems. For me... losing my head. Scored more than Richie. Stick him up too. Yeah, Richie's just... I don't know what we can see. Do you know what? I wasn't against the Richie signing last summer. If he was back up to Kane and Son. But when the World Cup started last season, I had plenty of time to reflect on what's going to happen this season, the signings we made in last summer. And I could see it. I could see the plan. Richie is there to take Kane's throne when Kane goes this summer. And that's exactly what's happened. We got less than 24 hours to sign a striker, so that may not be true. The first 3 games of this season, first 4 games, we played Richie up top. He's got 1 goal in 31 league games. Unbelievable. Hotspur Hood. Great to see you, Tommy. Missed you. Chingu. Friend. Hello. Okay. Fantastic. Chingu. I love Chingu. That's a great... I'm butchering that pronunciation, but I love it. My good friend Tommy. Hope you're all well. Rob, how you doing, mate? How you doing? We done a stream on Tuesday with Dan and Gareth. Yeah. It's fair to say there was some cursing. Safe to say there was some cursing. Right, what I've been doing on these summer shows is I do the paper rumours. I get a whole bunch of transfer rumours from other sites, from other groups, Facebook groups, and that, and we talk about at the end of the stream. I'm going to do this first. Because there aren't too many, given that it's the final day of the transfer window. There are some to do with Spurs, some not so. Not so Spurs orientated, but worth talking about all the same. And I've got the papers and the sites that they come from. Okay, so the transfer news and rumour mill. Al Ittihad are preparing a 118 million bid for Mohamed Salah, despite Liverpool insisting the 31-year-old Egypt forward is not for sale. That's the Mail reporting that. It's been said over the last few, probably the last week, that Salah could be on his way to Saudi Arabia. They're interested. This affects us. This does affect us because we're interested in Brennan Johnson, who Liverpool apparently are looking at. If Salah goes, and they need a replacement. Brennan Johnson's a right winger. So Bakayoko, I've put him in the title already. Bakayoko's a right winger. Liverpool are interested in him as well. This is what I'm hearing. And Ansu Fati, who could be, I think he's pretty much on his way to Brighton now. Before I started this show, he wasn't. He was on they were rumoured, but nothing concrete. He's a left winger. Anyway, but 118 million for Salah. If that bid has come in, can Liverpool reject that for a 31-year-old? Who knows? Now, Liverpool boss Klopp would be furious if the Reds attempted to accept the bid. Okay, so he may not be going. That's going to be the big one today, whether Salah goes or not. Well, the next 24 hours. Tottenham are also considering a move for Crystal Palace's English forward, Ebekri Eze. 25 after a move for Nottingham Forest Wales forward Brennan Johnson stalled. So it looks like the Johnson one's not going to go ahead. I'm going to talk about that in a bit more detail in a little while. Not so much on Johnson himself, but players in, especially wingers, because that's who we're linked with. That's all we're linked with right now. I'm going to move on and talk about that in a bit more depth. So that's the Independent saying that we're also looking at Eze, which, I'm a big Eze fan. The best thing about Eze is he can actually play in centre mid in a free, up top, on the right wing. I mean, not up top, but Cam, on the right wing, on the left wing. He's played everywhere for Crystal Palace. Bit small, so probably wouldn't be the workman-like centre mid, let's say, if Hojbjerg went. But I'm a big fan of Eze. For me, it would be Eze or Maddison. You wouldn't have both. So I don't see us going for him. I really don't. I'd take Eze as backup to instead of Lo Celso, that's for sure. But his best position is Cam. So not sure how much I believe that. Man United want to sign a midfielder before the transfer deadline with Fiorentina's Morocco international, Sofiane Amrabat, 27, their prime target. Why is he not gone this window, Amrabat? He's an incredible centre mid. Outside of Messi and probably, I don't know, McAllister in the World Cup, he's the best player in the World Cup. He was absolutely outstanding, Amrabat. And every time I see him play for Fiorentina, I'm surprised he hasn't gone earlier in the window. Man United leaving things very, very late. Very, very late this window. And they sometimes do. But they're also interested in Hojbjerg, Man United. We're going to get onto that later. Right, Fiorentina rejected United's 1.7 loan offer for Amrabat, but we're considering a deal with an obligation to buy. What sort of offer is that? Are they struggling for money? So that's the Mal that are reporting that as well. Man United have also contacted Tottenham over a deal for 28-year-old Denmark midfielder Pierre-Emil Hojbjerg. That's Sky Sports reporting that. Is that lazy journalism? They signed Højlund. Of Atalanta. Now they want Hojbjerg, both Danish. Could be lazy journalism. Bayern Munich are looking at 28-year-old midfielder João Palhinha, who's open to a switch and is valued at 90 million euros, 77 million pounds by the London club. Wow, he's not young, is he, Palhinha? He is not young. I want to see how old he is, Palhinha. But I said on the weekend, not just because he scored a goal, he's not really a goal scorer, Palhinha. I know he scored against Arsenal, but that guy works his arse off. He really, really does. If you were selling Hojbjerg and you needed a tackling, boisterous midfielder, this would be the guy. This would, without a shadow of a doubt, be the guy. He's 28. He's 28. He's not young for 77 million pounds. That's a lot of money. But that's what Fulham want to be paid. They want that, which means they could settle for 65 million pounds. But at this stage of the window, for me, he's the sort of player that would just keep Fulham up. Without him, I think they're probably relegation candidates anyway, Fulham. But without that guy, they're favourites. They've got to be one of the favourites to go down, especially with no Mitrovic. They replaced Mitrovic with Raul Jimenez, which is just not good. Bayern Munich are set to offer. It's all Bayern Munich. It really is. And they're linked with Dier as well. Take Dier off us. That'd be wonderful. Are set to offer up to 50 million for Palhinha. Have turned to the Portugal international because there are doubts over their move for Chelsea's 24-year-old English defender Trevor Chalobah. I never knew Bayern Munich were interested in Chalobah. They're linked with so many players. Makes sense because of the manager, because of the Bayern Munich manager, ex-Chelsea manager. So his name, I cannot remember his name. I'm so angry that Tuchel. So he would have trained Chalobah for a couple of years, so he knows what he's about. Borussia Dortmund have reached a verbal agreement to sign Southampton and German defender Armel Bella Kotchuk, 21, on a loan deal with an option to buy. He's top class. The one very good player from Southampton last season. I thought he definitely impressed, and still 21 for a centre-back. It's good age. He's going to Germany with Dortmund. Inter Milan are looking at making a lot of these I haven't seen. I'll promise you. I've copy and pasted this from a Facebook group before I start because I want to be as updated on the transfer rumours as I can. So I haven't seen half of these. And this is one I haven't seen. Inter Milan are looking at making a move for Tottenham's 26-year-old French midfielder Tanguy Ndombele, who spent last season on loan at Napoli. The site that offered this is Tutto Mercato Web in Italian. Wolves have made an initial 25 million euro bid for Strasbourg's 19-year-old French midfielder Habib Diarra, but have yet to receive a response from the Ligue 1 club. That's L'Equipe in L'Equipe newspaper in French. Luton Town are set to sign Man United's 21-year-old English defender Teden Menge. Teden Menge was rated so high a few years ago. I think he went on loan somewhere in Holland and didn't really impress, but that's the Mal. Nottingham Forest are closing in on a deal to take 22-year-old England winger Callum Hudson-Odoi from Chelsea. He was rated so highly as well. He really was. The players Chelsea bring through is incredible. And if they don't make their way to the first team, they get a stupid amount of money for them. I mean, look at Mount, £60 million. You know, was obviously he played plenty of times for Chelsea in their first team, but you know they get so much money from their youth players if they don't make it, or if the manager doesn't fancy them. Sheffield United are leading the race to sign Man City's England under-21 midfielder James McAtee, 20, for a second loan spell at the club after spending last season at Bramble Lane. We've got Sheffield United, not this weekend. We've got them next weekend, and then it's Arsenal. So yeah, it's so we need to look at what Sheffield United are up to. Al Ittihad have sounded out Liverpool's 24-year-old French defender Ibrahima Konate over a possible move. That's RMC Sport in French. Finally, Arsenal agreed a 17.5% sell-on clause in the £35 million deal that took 22-year-old United States forward Folarin Balogun to Monaco. I'm so surprised they sold him. I really am. But I'll talk about Chelsea getting money for players, their young players. But we're talking £35 million. That's like a £50 million deal. Arsenal have got there selling Balogun. But he's got a lot of goals in France last season. I didn't know he'd definitely gone there. I thought it's still been negotiated. But, oh, right, yes, they've sold him. They've sold him. A lot of Arsenal fans are not happy about that. And I like it when Arsenal fans are not happy. So I don't think I would be that happy about it if I just had Jesus. If Arsenal just have Jesus and they're going to look at Havertz as the backup, I'm happy. I'm not afraid with Arsenal. They've done well in the transfer window, but why haven't they signed a striker? It's incredible. I tell you what, that Ibrahima Konate at Liverpool, the Liverpool fans love him. He had a few errors in him towards the end of the season, but they're saying how big he is and how quick he is. Like, he is big and quick. He's usually one or the other. He's like 6'5" and rapid. You probably give Van der Ven a run for his money. No pun intended. Right. Now, I'm going to step away from transfers for a second. I'm going to look at the comments, but I'm going to stay away from the transfers altogether in a second, because I want to talk about something that was released earlier today. Is Conor Gallagher rumor true, Tommy? I'll never ever, Gaguma, tell you whether something's true or not. I'm not a journalist. I'm not a source. So if I tell you something's going to happen, I must be drunk or I'm bullshitting, because I don't know. I only try and make sense of it. And the Conor Gallagher thing, you super sticker as well, Gaguma. Thank you ever so much. But I read out everyone's chat regardless on these solo streams. But that really does support the channel, Gaguma. So I really do appreciate it. And even just smashing a like makes a big difference. So if you haven't smashed a like or subscribe, please do that. So if Conor Gallagher, this came up like a month ago, and it makes sense because another Chelsea youth player, a very good one. I think Pochettino really likes him. By the looks of things, he's playing him. If he's not starting, he's coming off the bench for pre-season as well. I'd take him. I think he's an absolutely brilliant centre mid. I think he can do all roles. Cam, defensive mid. Defensive mid is not his strongest suit, but we saw it last season. The season before last, I think, at Palace, when he was asked to do different roles, and he was very, very good. But the truth of the matter is, we're never signing a player from Chelsea. I just can't see it, especially with Pochettino there now. I think we're constantly linked with their players. I mean, Lukaku too. But Lukaku's been linked heavily the last week or so. But I just can't see it. The last player that went to Spurs from Chelsea wasn't directly. I think it was Poyet. Gus Poyet's contract ran out, so he signed for us on a free. I think that's I can't remember the last direct transfer, to be honest. Gallas went from Chelsea to Arsenal to us on a free, didn't he? So the two clubs just do not negotiate. They just do not. Pow, 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 auxiliary agent. Pow, pow, pow. That's us, hopefully, by the end of the window. We need something. We need something happening. Bobby K, what's happening? What's happening, Bobby K? How you doing, my friend? I'm sure you've subscribed to Bobby's channel. If you haven't, make sure you do. Hopefully, pow, pow, pow. He always does the Saturday shows now. Always does the Saturday shows. Celery agent, KKK, the Hotspur Hood. He's taken over from Bob. Oh, we can't say the Bob, can we? That's cool. Curious because I heard it. Just because I heard it. The Hotspur Hood. Yeah, it's been talked about, and it makes a lot of sense, Kaguma. It does make a lot of sense because we need centre mids, especially if Hojbjerg was to go. And I tell you what, Dan made a great point on Tuesday's show. Something I didn't pick up on, and something I'm sure a lot of Spurs fans didn't pick up on, is the African Cup of Nations. We've got 2 centre mids going, and our 2 starting centre mids, Bissouma and Sarr. What are we going to do there? That's one. Now I look at it, and I don't really want to sell Hojbjerg at all. So we do need a centre mid. So the Gallagher thing definitely makes sense, but the fact that he's at Chelsea and Pochettino fancies him, I don't see it. But as a player, fantastic. Daryl Denton, big up, my friend. Tommy, Tottenham fan. Chris Cowan, 30 minutes ago. Many congratulations to Dane Scarlett signing a new contract at the club until 2027. A player with a lot of potential. This is Spurs' ambition. What can you say? What can you say? He had a go once this summer, I think. I don't watch any of them shows, to be honest with you. If I'm not interested in the show, I won't watch it. It's as simple as that. I'm not going to get in the chat and start humiliating people. If I'm not into it, it's so safe. It's so boring for me. I'm not interested in it, so I don't watch the Cowlings. But there was a tweet, retweeted, because I do use Twitter, even though it's a cesspit. It is a cesspit. And for the first time in a long time, I heard him actually having a go at the owners, but then straight away he just changes and this rubbish. You know, he signed a new contract. We need new strikers. We need new strikers. We don't need a striker that could be very good in the future. I think he scored 4 goals for Portsmouth last season. He's not going to change. Not going to change anything for us this season. Cudicini. Who's that? Oh, Cudicini. But that was a free as well, wasn't it? And that wasn't. Was that directly from Chelsea? Yeah, that would have been a free transfer as well, I think. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's a good shout. It might have been, actually, you say that, it might have been £1 million or something, Sammy. It might have been £1 million. Let's have a look. Cudicini. He was our coach for ages as well. Cudicini. Beautiful shirt. We used to have some fantastic goalkeeper shirts. Even under Thompson and Manson, like, Tottenham Manson sponsor. They were fantastic. Let's have a look. Chelsea. He came from nowhere when he went to Chelsea, actually. He was outstanding for them. Free transfer. It was a free. So we just don't do business with them, do we? We literally just don't do business. I mean, the last 2 was, Poyet and Cudicini on frees. Lukaku and Gallagher aren't coming. The truth is nobody is coming. Probably. You're probably right. That's why I'm angry, because I'm not impressed with these rumours. The chances of them happening are slim, and it's not the players we should be going for, quite frankly. Cowling is a paid shill. He gets paid by the club to travel everywhere. Can't stand the guy. Stopped listening to him years ago. Maybe he was good once upon a time. But yeah, not many people are fans these days. Right. On to this one. Before we get into the potential transfers coming in, the potential right wingers coming in, even though we need striker, I saw this morning, and this infuriated me. It really, really did. So the word on the street, I was going to share screen this, but I can't be bothered, quite frankly. And it doesn't zoom in enough, and there's music and you get copyrighted. So I was going to look at the exact story, but there's multiple newspapers that said that Levy barred Harry Kane from training. So this was before the move was complete. He wasn't able to even say his goodbyes to staff, to teammates. Over the years, this guy, Spurs icon, he would have known so many people, not just coaching staff, just the staff, like the canteen staff, like there's so many staff, the administration center, like administrative center, I can't even get my words out. He wasn't able to say goodbye at all 4 hours before. What? I can't believe this guy. I cannot believe this from Daniel Levy. Well, I can believe it. An icon. I'm not surprised. He's not desperate. He doesn't care about Spurs at all now. I'm not surprised by that. He's moved on quickly. He's got 3 goals in 2 games. Good luck to him anyway, but this is just ridiculous. Real classy Levy. Don't let him say goodbye to his teammates. A player just bowed us out season over season over season. Many people will say, probably in the chat, thinking the same thing. I don't care what people say. I don't care about Kane now. Let's move on. But we haven't moved on, have we? That's the reality of the situation. We haven't moved on. We haven't signed a replacement for Harry Kane. And this story is it's disgraceful, absolutely disgraceful by the ownership, and it should be called out. It really, really should. Nothing surprises me. I get no pleasure from this. I really don't. I get pleasure from having a go at Levy, in terms of he needs to be called out. And if we can get more people on the bandwagon to go Levy out, whether it's on social media, at the ground, or whatever, then I'm all for it. But this gives me no pleasure. This is just reprehensible. Let him say goodbye to his teammates. Let him say it. It goes beyond money. This is the sort of situation. There's much more important things in life than money. Not for Levy, but I know it's a business. Football's a business, of course. You're there to make money, but come on. Let him say his goodbyes. This is reported by multiple sources, multiple newspapers. It's just a shitty thing to do. What can you say? It's just a real shitty thing to do. Principles, morals, no, nothing. To a Spurs legend. 30 goals last season. We're going to miss those goals. I'm telling you. We're going to miss those goals. Yeah. And most importantly, one of our own. Absolutely one of our own. It's between him and Hoddle for the greatest players that have ever come through the Spurs youth system. It's got to be Kane, really, hasn't it? People always like going back to nostalgia, saying it's the 80s, if they grew up in the 80s, but you can't get better than this guy. Spurs Youth Academy. You don't give him the opportunity to say goodbye. Fucking absolute joke. This is worse than not signing anyone over the next 24 hours. This is just, it's reprehensible. Keep repeating myself, but it's just nasty. Nasty. Right, I'm going to take myself off that for a second because that just angers me. Right, let's have a look. Let's have a look at what people are saying. As I said, on these shows, on the solo shows, I'll try and make it as interactive as possible. I'll get through everyone's messages. If you haven't subbed yet, as I said, it's a bit scratchy in terms of the subs. Not really moving anywhere in terms of the subs. So 43 people watching. If you're watching and haven't subbed, please make sure you do. Hit that notification bell as well. Really, really helps keep the channel rolling. And of course, smash a like. Even if you don't like it, just smash a like. It keeps the channel going. It does. And we've got lots coming your way. So 26 people have liked. That's fantastic. I really, really appreciate it. I really, really appreciate the likes. It's just me and you talking in the chat. But it's therapeutic for us all, I hope. And get in the chat because I will read everyone's messages out. I don't know if I'm going to go into detail. It depends what it is. But I do try and read them all out. Okay. Let's see. Where was I? Daniel E. I don't know if this is Danny. Is this Dan E? My man from Tuesday. The main man, Dan E. This transfer window has been a joke beside VDV and Madison this window. Is 3 out of 10, and that's being generous. It's a shit show, our transfer business. It truly is. It truly, truly is. This is another relegation standard transfer window. And you can try and convince me that last summer wasn't, but last summer was too. You've just got to look at the players we're signing, the clubs that we're signing the players from, the big transfers. Van der Ven, Wolfsburg, top, higher end Bundesliga side. They will never win the league. They're getting the Champions League sometimes. And they were happy to sell him, quite frankly. Vicario from Empoli. So I'm just going by this season. It could be great signings. They could be great players. But these are not... We need some players that have won things from big clubs. But we don't act like that. We don't sign players with that experience that could help us win trophies. As I said, Vicario Van der Ven could be very good. And I'm sort of impressed by them early on. And then Madison. Very good player, but Leicester relegated. Let's say it how it is. Leicester relegated. Solomon. Free from Fulham. They didn't want to play him. They played him behind Willian. Willian was in front of him. People don't want to talk about this. They don't want to talk about this. They want to say, oh, Solomon scored 4 goals in 5 games. He's fast. He can come inside, outside. I don't think he's good enough. I don't think he's anywhere near good enough. And I don't care if people say he's no risk because he's free. He's no risk to who? He's not a risk to me. Look, all the money Tottenham spent. When Spurs sign and sell players, it's not my money. It's not directly my money. We spend the most at this club on shirts, matchday revenue, high season ticket prices. It's incredible. We make the most out of stadium, out of football money. Should be getting more than free transfers because they're no risk. No risk for who? No risk for Levy because he doesn't have to pay for anything for Solomon. I hear this, it's no risk. I've heard it all summer. Ridiculous statement. We need the best right winger we can get. Solomon from Fulham, Leicester, Wolfsburg, Empoli. Last summer, Bissouma, Brighton. Brighton not a massive club. I mean, they're doing very well now, but that's not like he's not a Zinchenko. He's not a Gabriel Jesus. What Arsenal done last summer. We need some winners in. Richarlison from Everton nearly got relegated last summer. Spence from Nottingham Forest in the Championship. Why aren't we buying bigger players from bigger clubs? Laporte was an obvious one this summer. We needed 2 centre-backs at least. 3. Many said 3. I knew we weren't getting 3, so I was like, maybe we could get 2. Laporte had to be 1. I'm happy with Van der Ven and Laporte, but just Van der Ven with Sanchez and Dier sitting there, no chance. And Laporte comes with the experience. Won things. For too long, we don't do that. The last player we signed, and I looked at this myself. This wasn't a stat somebody else found. I looked at this myself. I looked over the transfers. 2011 was the last time we signed a player from a Premier League team that finished in the top 4. 2011. From a player that just finished in the top 4. Not from a team that won the league. From a team that finished in the top 4. Adebayor from Man City. 12 years ago. This could be a relegation battling window. A team in a relegation battle. This could be a Fulham transfer window. Absolutely easy. If you change this to Fulham, you wouldn't be that surprised. Our transfer window to Fulham. You just wouldn't be. You wouldn't be. Kane. This is Tottenham. Why are you surprised, mate? I'm not surprised, but I spend a fair amount of time streaming and I can't pretend anymore. Leaders took the soul out of this club, yet some fans worship the guy. Do you know what? I disagree with worship. Some do. Actually, some do. I will say some do. Very low percentage worship. So I'd say, let's say 2, 3, let's say 5% at best worship. But so many, 70% of fans just don't care. They really just don't care until we start losing. And then when we start losing, they get on the bandwagon of Levy out. Then we win 2 games and it goes back to nothing. You can sit on the fence and you don't have to. You can be a casual supporter by all means. You can be, but this 70% of the fan base that I don't think are anywhere near Levy out, they have a go at the Levy outers, a lot of them as well. Like we're trying to hurt the team, like we're trying to hurt the club being Levy out. Some of us, we want better for the club. We can be negative, toxic negativity. What do 2 negatives make? You tell me. What do 2 negatives make? Sometimes you've got to critique. Sometimes you've got to be negative to get good things coming your way in the future. That's how it is. When if your child's not doing well at school, you got to critique them. You can't say carry on doing what you're doing. You got to change the way they're doing things, or they're not going to succeed in life. And you can say the same about Spurs. If they're not doing right, and we're not doing things right, because we finished 6th, we finished 7th, we finished 4th under Conte, then we finished 8th. When we sat Conte, we finished 8th. 6th, 7th, 4th, 8th. The last 4 years, we were challenging for titles. In 15, 16, 16, 17. And what happened? What did Levy do? He went 500 days without signing. That's why we Levy out. That's why we Levy out. Any Spurs fans who look down on Kane for leaving this shit show needs a reality check. I mean, even people having a go at Sky Sports. For Sky Sports are now advertising Kane better at Bayern Munich than they ever did at Spurs. Why? Why? Everyone hates us because everyone hates our owner. Nobody likes dealing with our owner. We're a laughing stock. Everyone, we're a laughing stock. I went to Great Yarmouth. Great Yarmouth. This is in Norfolk. There's no hate for Norfolk and London clubs. There just isn't. And I was watching a show at Haven with the kids. And I got people on like... I got people on the entertainment at Haven. It's not great. Having a go at Spurs. Like just saying little digs at Spurs, and these are entertainers, got nothing to do with sport. I heard a dig this morning, outside of sport, outside of football. We're just a laughing stock. We're a circus. We are the laughing stock of football and outside of sport. I'm sick and tired of it. And many Spurs fans allow it. Could not say goodbye. Yeah. He didn't get any opportunity to say goodbye to his teammates, the staff, the coaching staff. He must get out of this club. It is out of order. This club is a joke, completely out of order. It's a scumbag Levy. Who is anyone actually surprised he treated Kane that way? I'm not surprised, but that's new levels of disrespect. New levels of disrespect. I have a proper question, Tommy. I said to a YouTuber that I'm sick of Levy sympathisers and apologists. She said I was rude. How can I refer to them? I am baffled. Levy enablers. I come up with Levy enablers. Sympathisers, apologists. She said I was rude. What can you do? What can you do? Just leave them. just leave them to it. Leave them to it. They know what they are. They know what they are. The worst ones are the ones that say, I am Levy out, but, well, you're not Levy out. Because every single thing, so I'll sometimes have guests on the show that are more Levy in than others, let's say. And some of them say, well, I am Levy out. I'm Levy out, but every talking point, there's a but. So you're not that Levy out because you're not doing anything to be Levy out, really, are you? I'm not saying you have to, but if you want to change at the club, don't start getting depressed when we start losing. Get depressed when the transfer windows and the signings we make and the sales we don't make are not going well. That's when you should be losing your shit. We target the wrong things. We target the managers. Ange is going to be targeted soon. If Ange loses to Burnley, if we lose to Burnley on the weekend, or even draw to Burnley and lose to Sheffield United the following weekend, the posters will start getting written. The felt pens will come out. The whiteboards will come out. Ange out. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. I've seen it so often. I've seen it so much. We won our first 3 games under Nuno. One against Man City. Same thing happened 10 games later. Rightly so, because Nuno was a terrible appointment. But this fan base is fickle beyond the words. There must be another name. There must be a definition for what we are as fan base, and it's beyond fickle. It's not, mate. It's not, mate. Different Daniel, mate. Oh, right, fair enough. I like Gaguma always for the Hotspur Hood. This was a rebuild window. We spent £50 million net a spend. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Yeah, so I'm going to get through the chat a little bit faster now. I'm going to get through a little bit faster. Just let down again and again and again. It's not over yet. Don't worry. We still got, I don't know what, it's 2 o'clock now. We've still got 23 hours until the window ends. Going to be lots of links. I don't think we're going to sign anyone. Kamandishka Gaguma. Solomon is crap at tracking back as well. Offers nothing defensively. Dexter, if he turns out well and he's free, fantastic if he turns out well. But the fact that he played 4 times for Fulham is not convincing me that he's going to be a great Spurs player. Gaguma, Tottenham royalty. She certainly is. She's been around from the start. From when I first started streaming about 2 years ago, Gaguma, always supporting and putting super stickers in. And again, thank you ever so much for another super sticker, Gaguma. Very, very generous. Very, very generous indeed. Nima, but according to Simon Jordan, who do we think we are? People like Simon Jordan constantly putting out the rhetoric that we're a small club and that we should accept it despite our cash flow saying otherwise. Then the stupid Levy supporters agree with him. We're not a small club. We're a small club in terms of our trophy cabinet, but that's because Levy's not helped the trophy cabinet in 23 years when he had the opportunity. We have had the opportunity to turn from a small club to a big club. Off the field, we have. Off the field, we have. But on the field, we still got a small club mentality. Everything's right off the field. Most things are right. The money, the revenue generated, it's there to turn this club from a small club. If you look at our trophy cabinet the last 25 years, yeah, we are a small club, into a bigger club. But we're not doing it. Look at the players we've had over the years. Modric, world class. Bow, world class. Carrick, up there. Carrick's one of those players. He never done a great deal. If you was watching him, he's not great on the eye, Carrick, but he was a serious good player. Not world class, but seriously good player. Berbatov, in and around world class. You know, Van der Vaart was world class. We had all these players. Kane, Son, you can say is world class. King, when he played, was world class. I think Kyle Walker was for a right back. Kyle Walker's world class. If you're in the top 3 right backs in a season or a couple of seasons, for me, you're world class. At one stage, Walker was world class. A lot of people disagree, but I genuinely think for a right back, he's world class. Okay, he's not an attacker, so it's not someone that you want to talk about in terms of world class sometimes. So we've had world class players. Kane is the perfect example of that. But you haven't built. We've had the opportunity, and that's the most frustrating thing. We progressed, but we're just regressing. Simon Jordan spoke all summer how Levy thought he could keep Kane. Then a couple of days flip-flopped and said we have luck. Talk Sport's a joke. TalkSport's an absolute joke. The adverts on that channel. Do you know what? I couldn't watch the Fulham game the other day. I didn't have the stream. And sometimes I like listening to radio sometimes. And so I had to listen to TalkSport radio, TalkSport 2. And hopefully it's the last time I have to listen. Just the adverts, constant adverts. Not so much on the live games, but when you're listening to Simon Jordan and the likes, just constant fucking adverts. Ridiculous. He's in Levy's pocket. He needs to get as much abuse as possible because he's a coward. Simon Jordan is there to be controversial. Don't listen to him. Exactly. And he's paid to be controversial. Yeah, we're the only club who reward failure. The idiots are, though, and it's creating a divide in the fan base. Levy gets away with it all the time. Of course he does. Nima, the same. Simon Jordan himself, who's been screwed over by Levy when we chat. This is the thing I don't get, Daniel. This is the thing I don't get. He should despise him over that Bostock situation. You really should. So when I hear about, I don't watch TalkSport, but I see clips on Twitter backing up Daniel Levy. I'm shocked at it, but it's right. Whoever just put it, it's for views. It's for controversy. He's paid to do it. So I think that's why he does it. I don't think he genuinely probably doesn't believe it. I do actually rate Brendan Johnson quite highly. However, he won't be at his best for about 2 or 3 years. Meanwhile, we have zero squad depth. Should be buying players like him winning the championship. It's a good shout. You can take risks in the championship and they can work. They have done plenty of time. We talked about Eze not long ago. 20 million, 18 million pounds, I think, when Palace signed him. Olise, 8 million pounds. I was gunning for Olise. Gunning for him. He got like 15 assists and 10 goals for Reading the season before he moved to Palace. The season before that, he was fantastic. He was absolutely fantastic the season before as well. I mean, the last 6 months at Reading in that season. His release fee at Crystal Palace was £8 million. 8 million. Do your recruitment, do your scouting, because that was an obvious one. So yeah, I agree. You should do. You should be looking into the championship at times. I mean, West Ham with Bowen. There are lots of very good players that have come from the championship recently. I'll try that enablers tactic. That'll probably piss them off more. To be honest with you, that will probably piss them off more. What a great supporter of our community. She seriously is. She absolutely is. It's not just the super stickers. She's everywhere. She's everywhere, supporting the chat, getting in the chat, and even to me, like when I let it out, when I get therapeutic and let this out, I get slightly high. I feel a bit happier. It's like my drug. I do this as a drug. and Gaguma's always good, always full of love. That's for sure. We are a rotten, fickle fan base, Tommy. Every crumb is a feast. Every minor inconvenience is famine. We're singing Ange chants from minute 1 at Fulham, then post-game, everyone's got their knives out. Exactly. I don't think everyone said I'm negative. I'm not a good fan. Not everyone, Twitter, because Twitter, I keep saying it's a cesspit. It's fun. It is fun, Twitter, because I can just troll people for the sake of it. And that makes me laugh. But a lot of fans come out and say, "Oh, you should support Arsenal, this, that, and the other." But why? I don't understand. We make songs about players from minute 1. We're still singing the Eric Dier song. I mean, like we're more focused on singing than we are putting pressure on Levy to sign players. And it's 3 or 4 games in, and it's exactly that. It's in the end of the game. It's Ange out. It's not Ange out, but in 2 games' time, if we don't beat Burnley and Sheffield United, it's quickly going to turn Ange out, and it's going to be the manager's fault. It won't be the owner's fault. Or what happens is the negativity towards the owners is very brief. It can go Levy out for a little while, but it is very brief and it turns. And I tell you when it turns, after a victory. I knew at the end of last season when we beat Leeds, I said before the Leeds game, final game of the last season, Cracknell and some of these other guys were coming out of the woodwork saying, "Oh, I'm going to join this, I'm going to join that, I'm going to be Levy out," right? I said, as soon as Leeds win, as soon as we beat Leeds on the weekend, because that come off at Aston Villa loss, I think, things are going to change. We're going to hear nothing. That's how quickly the fan base turns. And that was the case. And the first month of the transfer window, we done nothing because apparently we beat Leeds 4-1, so everything was rosy. Finished 8th, losing 6-1 to Newcastle, conceded like 5 goals in 20 minutes or what have you. Crazy. We just turn like this. The divided fan base is the biggest problem at the club, 100%. 6th most. Man United fans protest against their fucking shirt this season. They didn't like the design of their home shirt. They got 10,000 people protesting. We get 30 people protesting, 40 people protesting when we've got the highest revenue in football and we keep spending it on the Spencers and the Gills, youth players that could be good in the future. When other teams like the Arsenals are getting players that are, they're going to come in and do damage. Zinchenko, Jesus, Declan Rice. They're going to be good. Sixth most successful team in England based on trophies won in our history. We're not a small club. It's just we have a small club mentality basically my entire life, which is 30 years. From my experience, from when I supported Spurs, I can only go from what I've seen us. We're quite a small club. I've seen one trophy really in 2008. So when I supported Spurs, I'm 33. When I really got into it, I was about 8 or 9. We hadn't really won anything. The only thing we've won is the Carabao Cup. So historically, we're a fantastic domestic winning club, and we're not small, but we have exactly that. It's a small club mentality. When we could have changed, and teams are overtaking us. So domestic trophies, we were ahead of Arsenal at one stage. They've won 4 in the last 10 years. They won 4 FA Cups in the last 10 years. This was Arsenal's worst squad since the 90s. And they still won 4 FA Cups. We had the better team. We had better manager in Poch, I'd say. Much better team. And still, not only did we not win the title, when we probably should have won the title. Should have won the title at one stage. We didn't win a single trophy. They got 4 FA Cups in that time. Incredible. I'm up in Aberdeen seeing friends, and I've been invited to the Aberdeen game tonight. Should I go? It may take my mind off Levy and Spurs. They're playing Burger King Hiken. Should be a classic. What is Burger King Hiken? What is that? Is that a youth game? Is that the Conference League, like early stages of the Conference League? Burger King Hiken, or is that a nickname you've given them? It sounds like Scandinavian. We're going Scandinavian. I thought there's a club called FC Hiken or something like that. Go to it, man. I used to be a scout. I used to watch National League games. I used to watch below National League games. In fact, one of the last games I went to was, weirdly enough, when I was scouting, one of the very last games I went to was a Margate game, because I used to scout in National League. The Dover game, this is in Kent, got postponed. I went to a Margate game and I couldn't believe he was sitting next to me. I could not believe he was sitting next to me, not directly next to me, but in the next stand. It's only a very small stand. It's Justin Edinburgh, and he passed away 5 weeks later. It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. The fact that he was there. I was talking about it at the time. They're like, Justin Edinburgh's here. I was like, he's Leyton Orient manager. What's he doing at Margate? Watching Margate. So he's a proper football guy. Football through and through. So yeah, I couldn't care less. I mean, Aberdeen at SPL. Watch National League games. Watch games 6th, 7th. It'll make you feel better. It'll make you feel better about Spurs. And you'll be surprised at how high the quality is. Still very good. Still very good. We dodged a bullet not appointing Southgate. He's just announced his next squad, which includes Maguire and Henderson. Henderson, he went to Saudi Arabia, didn't he? Maguire, he always does well for England. To be fair, there are not too many options, is there, really? You're going to put Dier in there? I'd rather have Maguire than Dier. I got to talk to Tuesday night who brought this up. So I think Gareth was saying that he'd take Maguire. I wouldn't take him at Spurs, no chance. But I tell you what, he's better in the air than any of our centre-backs. It's one thing we haven't got at England, which we did have back in the day. Back in the day, we had a plethora of centre-backs. King couldn't get in the team even when he was fit. And King was world-class. Ledley King was world-class. So we had all the great centre-backs, but no full-backs. And now we've got lots of great full-backs, cams, but no centre-backs. And I agree. I don't think Henderson should be in a team. I really don't think Henderson should be in a team, and we really have dodged a bullet. The last job Southgate had in club football was getting Middlesbrough relegated. So Middlesbrough were in the league for a long, long time before he got them relegated. Long time. It's a conference, I think. It's BK. I knew it was two. I knew it was 2 letters. I knew it was 2 letters. BK. I would go just for that name. I'll pay you, Kukuma. I'm 33 as well. Snap. Dexter Morningstar. Calvin Phillips. I'm 33. I feel about 63 today. Moaning. But I'm not getting anything. I'm not getting the transfers anywhere near the signings I thought we'd get this summer after the Maddison deal. I honestly didn't believe we would anyway. But people convincing me, trying to convince me that this Maddison deal, you know, things are going to change. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. We sell our greatest ever striker and we don't sign a replacement, not even close. Richie is the replacement. We have to get used to that. He is the replacement. I've seen 2 League Cups. That's it. I've seen. So I wasn't old enough. So I didn't get fully into Spurs till I was about 9, 10, 11, 9, I'd say. And then by that time, it was, I mean, yeah, we'd won it, but I was very early stages of supporting Spurs. And then I just went crazy. I think when I was 10, I just went insane. I used to some of the stuff I used to do, I used to just write the fixtures down on a large piece of paper and different colours and goal scorers for every Spurs game. And I used to religiously read everything, watch everything. That's changed now. It's heartbreaking to see what's happening with Spurs. We're much better. We've got much more money now. The squad's been so much better over the years, but still the success isn't there. 2008. It's going to be, if my maths is correct, it's going to be 16 years. If we don't win a trophy this season, it's going to be 16 years since we last won a trophy. Unbelievable. Guguma, another super sticker. Thank you ever so much. I really, really, really appreciate it. We've got 50 people watching now as well. If you've got 50 people watching at this time is fantastic. I really do appreciate it. I'd appreciate it one step further if you smash a like. We're on 39 likes. There's 50 people watching, 51 people watching. Come on, get us to hop that milestone, 50. I never get there. It's always 45, 46, rarely get to 50. So if we can get to 50 likes, it'd be magnificent. So a lot of the time you get to 40, 40, 42, 44, 45. But get us to 50. If you haven't smashed that like, please do so. Right. Transfers. Let's talk transfers. The players that we've been linked with highly over the last 2 days, let's say, because I haven't done one of these shows for a while. So Mr. Ansu Fati Johnson and Bakayoko. Tuesday night, before we played Fulham, this is the big rumour that came out. So a few hours before the Fulham game, during the Fulham game, people were talking about it, and then not so much after the Fulham game because people were just pissed off. It was reported we're going for Fati. Once heralded, once compared to the great Messi, this is the man to Messi's throne. Now, to be fair, looking at the games he's played, looking at the stats, I've seen him play, he's incredible. I've seen him play plenty. He is an incredible talent. But he's just 20 years old, 9 caps for Spain, 80 league games. He's already played 80 league games for Barcelona, scored 22 goals. So this guy is a talent. This guy is some talent. He came into the scene very, very early. The fact that it's 80 games is just madness. He plays all along the front line, mostly on the left, being his natural position. His natural position is on the left. But last night, Romero, Mr. Fabrizio Romero, don't really like to talk too often about other. I'm not going to call him a bullshitter, but I don't think he's the god that some people think he is. But he is good. He is probably the most accurate. So he's rejected Spurs and he's off to Brighton for all intent and purposes. I'm seeing him on Instagram and stuff with Brighton shirt now. It's probably just the picture art stuff. But it looks like Brighton are his suitors. It wouldn't surprise me. Made sense. The manager's more proven, doing great things. De Zerbi in his brief time there. Very, very well-run club. Small club, run like a massive club. And now in Europe for the first time. So they're going to need players. They're really going to need they're going to need a large squad, some depth, and this guy will certainly add some depth. Nothing has been confirmed yet, as far as I know. But Liverpool also looking at him. Liverpool just looking at all the wingers now. Liverpool looking at all the wingers now because there's a chance Salah could go. I tell you now, if Salah goes for 118 million, Klopp's gone in the next few months. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. Klopp is our new manager. It's a fault. Who knows? We got Conte. I never thought we'd get Conte. He won't take the shit. He won't take shit. The rumours are it'd be a loan to Brighton. So it's not really a big deal anyway. They'll probably get £10 million loan fee or something with their debt. I can't see them selling. I just really can't see them selling. Looking at his contract, he's got 4 years left on his contract, Fati, and 2 years optional extension. So he's got a contract to 2029 through Barcelona. So they will not sell this guy unless they get a lot of money. So this is a loan move. We don't need him at Spurs. I'm not bothered if he goes to Brighton, in all honesty. But I don't blame him. If there was the option to come to Spurs and Brighton, I don't blame him at all for going to Brighton. Left winger, we don't need one. We got Son, we got Perisic, we got Gil. What's happened to Gil? He's he's injured right now, but it doesn't look like he's going anywhere. So we'll have Gil. We've got plenty of options on the left. We've got plenty of options on the right. We need a striker. We need a striker, and we need a centre back. But anyway, moving on. Brennan Johnson. I'm not going to talk about this guy a great deal because I've spent loads of time talking about this guy. So I'm going to keep it very brief with Brendan Johnson. Look, I'm bored of talking about this guy. It's only really us and Brentford linked with him. Apparently, we bid £40 million apparently Brentford bid £40 million for Johnson, which was rejected. £50 million. I've said it all week since the rumours. That's a fair price for him in the market. I don't want Spurs to sign him. If we didn't have Kulusevski and we were like mid-table, if we didn't have Kulusevski and we were mid-table, I'd take Brennan Johnson for £50 million. But the fact that we shouldn't be mid-table and the fact that we have got Kulusevski and Solomon, we don't need Brennan Johnson. If the plan is to play him as a striker, which he has done a few times for Forest, I believe, and I've seen him up there for Wales, then it's just done. Anyway, £50 million. He scored 8 goals for Nottingham Forest last season. We need someone more proven if you're going to replace Kane. But I tell you what, if you're not going to sign anyone, you're not going to sign anyone else or a Kane replacement, I'll take him. Because if that's the opportunity, if you ask me, we're going to sign Brennan Johnson or not, I'll take him. Now, finally, this one I just heard about this one last night, but a lot of people talking about this, a lot of sources. Johan Bakayoko, PSV player, plays on a right wing. In fact, he took over from Madueke, the right winger that they sold to Chelsea. Who I like him. He was linked with Spurs. He come from the Spurs Youth Academy, Madueke. So I don't know. I don't think PSV will be that inclined to sell this Bakayoko. But again, Liverpool very interested. We're very interested, apparently. Transfermarket.com, because I don't know a lot about this guy at all. I've never seen him play. I'm not gonna lie and tell you I've seen this guy play. I haven't. So he's valued at £10 million, which is low, but then Eredivisie players are always a lot lower than they go for. So £10 million, not a great deal of money. He's a right winger though. He's a right winger. There's no striker there. It's just, what is it? Why are we linked with right wingers? I can't believe it. Look, he's at PSV. He came through the Anderlecht Academy, and we know that Anderlecht Academy is very good. Tielemans, Lukaku, Kompany. The list goes on and on and on. And he's already had 4 games for Belgium. He's done well at PSV in the brief time he's there. Do we need him? No. Do I want him? No. Just looking at the finer details, 3 years left on his contract. So he'll cost upwards, even though he's rated at £10 million, he'll cost upwards of 25 mil. So maybe Liverpool would take a punt on him as a potential player in the future. But they will not be looking at him as a Salah replacement, no chance. But tell you what, this sounds like a Levy transfer. It really does. Out of Fati, Johnson and Bakayoko, this sounds like a Levy transfer. Comes from nowhere, doesn't make a lot of positional sense, unbalances the team. We don't need him. We've got Kulu, Solomon, and we need a striker. So, yeah, it unbalances the team. It was like Gil. Very much Gil on the left wing a couple of years ago. We had Son. We had Bergwijn at the time as well. We just didn't need him. It was just a buy and hope we sell him later for double the price. It would be the same with this guy if we were to get him. Just seen it time and time. Same with Spence. Not a single game. He's gone to Leeds. Going to talk about who's going out, who could be going out, and the rumours with Spurs players going out. Next. That's going to be my final topic. Not a lot happening, to be fair. What's ultra worrying? With these 3 players being the most rumoured at Spurs, and they probably will be going into the next 24 hours until the window closes. They're not centre-backs. They are not central defenders. If Romero gets injured, it looks like VDV is already going to be struggling. We'll probably be starting Sanchez and Dier against Burnley. Imagine Romero gets injured. Oh, mate. And we know Romero's going to get injured at some stage this season. He's always out for like two months at a time. You know, he has long spells on the injury list, and he's not the be-all and end-all anyway, Romero. He makes lots and lots of errors. So, no Romero. Van der Ven, I think he's going to get injuries because he's so quick. He's going to do his hamstring, isn't he? Because he is rapid. But that is a problem. It's not the position. I look at centre-backs and I say, it's not the position I really care if you have loads of pace. If your positional sense is great, then you don't need pace. His positional sense isn't great, Van der Ven. That's why we saw lots of clips of him running back, because he's nowhere near where he should be. It's great that he's got this pace, and he kept up with Adama Traore, but this is going to be a problem for injuries. We need centre-backs. We need more centre-backs. We need more experienced centre-backs. There are some very good signs with Van der Ven early on, but we still needed another centre-back, and there's no rumours with centre-backs. Many people agreed that we needed 3 centre-backs, and even the Levy enablers said we needed 3 centre-backs at the start of the window. And what it is let's wait. It's only been 2 weeks into the window. Then it's, let's wait. It's only been 6 weeks into the window. Then it's, let's wait. There's all this, Lewis is going through this fraud situation. He has to go to court. Let's allow them to deal with that first. Then we'll talk about transfers. There's all these other stories in the background that Levy Innes uses the excuse. And now, even though it was everybody could see that we needed 3 centre-backs, at least 2. The excuse now will be, don't worry, be positive, back the manager, and we'll get one in the next window. We never do. We never, ever do. We've signed, Conte didn't get a single centre-back. He's 2 years there, plays 3 centre-backs, Conte. He never signed a single centre-back. You can't tell me Conte didn't want a centre-back. You can't tell me Conte wanted Dier, Sanchez and Davies as his centre-backs. Conte would not have been able to win the Scudetto 3 times with Juventus. The last Chelsea manager to win the Premier League title, and he won a FA Cup with them. In fact, Conte's 2 seasons at Chelsea got into the FA Cup final twice, once and won the Premier League, and then won the Scudetto with Inter Milan. You can't tell me that someone who's done all that, with that unbelievable CV, did not want to sign a centre-back over Davies, Dier and Sanchez. He did, but we didn't get one. Now we need 2, and we need an experienced one. We really need an experienced one. It doesn't look like we're getting it. So we're in big trouble. Big trouble. So, as I said, this leaves me to my final segment. But I will go through the chat first. Let's see what people are saying. A lot of people are saying, when I posted this on Twitter, some people were saying that the Fati's gone to Brighton. So I'll come off here and he'll probably be signed. It'll probably be confirmed. But I knew that anyway. I knew that Brighton was his preferred destination. Right, let's have a look. Daniel, what game mascot? Oh, I'm way behind. 16 years. That's bad. I was a mascot. Oh, mascot in 1998. Here we are. Next up. Kaguma. I used to go FCCL occasionally when I lived in Korea. Good times. Oh my God. We've got a lot of... it's fantastic. We've got Dexter used to come from Korea as well. It's a small world. To be fair. 60 million population. It's incredible. I want to go to that part of the world at some point. I really have to. I was a mascot in 1998, so I definitely remember that 1999 League Cup win. Oh, yeah. Bloody hell, you would have done, wouldn't you? Big up, Babuma. Don't forget a cup of Barry's. Don't forget, a cup of Barry's a day keeps the doctors away. 16 years, that's bad. That's an understatement. Danny, this is the Danny. This is my boy, Danny. Dexter Monster. Oh, wow, that's so cool. Sio are good. I followed him since Swansea, but I am Ulsan Hyundai. Yeah, they're the team. They're the big team I know. So I look at, when you say big clubs, I mean Seattle. I look at, for some reason, Ulsan Hyundai always come up. 50 million, 50 plus John. Is that in terms of ages? Everyone's going through our ages. Me chucking the 33 out. Everyone's giving their ages. Tell you what, we've got some very old people in the community. We've got some very young people in the community. We're all very depressed. Daniel E, what game were you mascot for? I still have kept buying it and drink it with the milk, like you taught me. It's so yummy and strong. I'm 38. John is 38. Big up, John. Fitzpatrick. Never been to Iceland, just stayed in Seattle. Miss it too much. I just love the food. I just fucking love the food. If just for the food purposes, I'm a foodie. I probably couldn't come back to this. Couldn't come back to fish and chips and mushy peas. them being very, very injury prone. Dexter Mornstar, that's so cool. Fati going to Brighton over us is just reality check some of the fans need to see, because we don't have a lot of pull anymore. It's facts. Of course we don't. We don't pay good wages for the players. We don't win trophies. We're not even in Europe this season. So it makes perfect sense for them to choose Brighton over us. Fati, curious. He's a very good player. The fact that I didn't realise he had 80 league games at just 20 years old for Barcelona. To have 80 league games at any level at 20 is crazy. But at Barcelona, the boy's a talent. he really is. I'm going to get the banner down for a second because I'm going to change this. I'm going to change this back, the overlay, I should say, because this will be the final segment. Hojbjerg, Dier, and others to go. But I still am going to get through the chat. Sander Malingen, I'm 44 years old. I've been a Spurs fan from well before ENIC came around, and that ball can't leave. He never stops disappointing me. What a disgrace of a chairman. Another shit transfer window. Bang on, bang on, bang on. 53. I've seen my shit got worse older I got. I've seen, I'm not surprised. But the difference was that I think we can all agree, us fans that remember the 2001s, the late 90s, the 2000s, we were mid-table. We weren't great, but we got better. We progressed. We had all the tools, and now we had the finance tools. We had the players, and we had the financial tools to fully succeed now, to battle for the title, to win trophies, and we're so far away. I mean, now look at this season. Usually we're fighting for 4 trophies. 2016, we're fighting for 4 trophies. This season, we're fighting for 1. Because we're definitely not going to be in a title challenge. It's FA Cup. All we got left is the FA Cup. And that doesn't start till January. So chances are it's going to be 16 years. I'll be surprised if with leaving the club. I'll be very surprised if we win a trophy before 2 decades. And if we do, it will be a League Cup, and it will be because we got a very lucky draw. He's gone. So he actually has gone. If I were Palace, I'd take Johnson. Levy chiseled away at my Spurs. Love. Now, not much he can take away. True that. Cheers, mate. It's generally lucky, mate, that it happened. I randomly picked off a computer with thousands of people. So we'll always appreciate it, mate. Oh, that's wicked. That's wicked. Morning, guys. Come on, you Spurs. Gio, how you doing? How you doing, my friend? I forgot we still got Gil as well. Bloody hell, that is a mess. Gil, Sessegnon? Sessegnon's a natural left winger as well. I completely forgot about him. Completely forgot about Sessegnon the other week. He was actually in our squad last season. He was injured for a lot of it, but we've got so many players on the left we need to get rid of. So we're interested in the player that plays on the left. Davis, just at left back. Davis, Adogi, Reggie, Perisic, Gil, Son. We've got 6. In fact, Solomon's natural positions left as well. We've got 7 players. We're linked with Fati. It could just be lazy journalism. But to be fair, Levy's signings, doesn't matter what we need. Doesn't matter. It's just as long as it makes financial sense. Sessegnon is also... Oh, yeah, I've confirmed that. If any of Romero VDV get injured, we are screwed. And they will. It's a 38-game marathon. It's a long, long season. We're very much at the start of it, and the window's not even closed yet. We've got 33 players, and I'll only keep 7 or 8 of them. Seriously, we are screwed. Big time. Big time. And it's not negative to say so. It's in front of us. Stevie Wonder can see this. We got to get a centre-back in to add depth in the back end. The EFL match proved that. Absolutely. Sanchez was horrific, wasn't he? Truly horrific, but of no surprise. I can't believe he's still here. After the boos, I just can't believe he's still here. I would never boo my own player out of ground. Not while the game's happening. Probably not after it either. But we did. The Spurs fan base got on his back. And then, he came on as a sub, didn't he? I can't remember what game it was. Was it Man United? I can't remember what game. Oh, no, it wasn't Man United because I was at the Man United game. It was, I can't remember. But he came on in the second half, got booed, was terrible, came off 10 minutes later. So he got re-subbed as a centre-back. I thought his career was doomed then. His career was done. Most owners in that situation would have, for everyone's sanity, for everyone, would have sold him. But he probably values Sanchez at about £20 million and won't take anything less. I wouldn't be surprised if that's where we are. Go to Korea, best food in the world, exactly. I won't come back though, because I'm such a foodie, I will not come back. Season is already over. We improved 4 games in. It's hard to disagree with you, Dan. It's hard to disagree. We improved, but weren't down to no plan. Just managers overachieving with what they was given, not wanted. I agree. I agree that we were overachieving at that stage as well. Because the teams around us weren't great either. I mean, the 15-16 title run, that Conte's Chelsea team wasn't great, was it? I mean, you had Moses right wing, you had David Luiz as the best player. You know, it was as their key player. wasn't a great Chelsea team at all. And Leicester won the title as well. Not disrespect, but in this era, in the current scheme of things, Leicester wouldn't have won a Premier League title. So, and we had the opportunity. We had an opportunity. We just didn't have the depth. We had a good starting 11. We didn't have the depth, and that's what killed us. That's what hurts the most. We've had the opportunities to win not just trophies, but the league title, which is the bread and butter. I will die a happy man. Not in life. If Spurs win the title, there are more important things than Spurs. But I spent a lot of time supporting Spurs. So I will definitely die happy if Spurs win the title. I'll just be happy if we can win one league title in my lifetime. I'm happy. I'm happy. I don't care what happens after that. But we're so far away from that now. Sami Sessegnon has cheese strings instead of hamstrings. Yeah, his injury record shocking. He's a left winger, to be fair. We put him as a we had the issues with Danny Rose a few years back, and we signed a left winger to compete with Davis, a left back. It's bad enough having Davis as your left back, but a left winger competing, it was never ever a left back. Sessegnon. I went to Craven Cottage religiously this season. I should have been a season ticket holder at Fulham that season because I went to about 15 games at Craven Cottage, and Sessegnon was incredible. So I used to scout in the morning. I used to scout near Fulham. So I used to watch the midday under 16 games in around London, some of the Premier League under 20s, and then 3 o'clock kickoff Fulham. So he was in the Championship. He was incredible as a left winger. He was getting into goal scoring positions. He scored loads of goals, Sessegnon. We put him down. We signed him as a left and put him as a left back. We signed him and put him as a left back because we had Son and Bergwijn at left wing. We signed Sessegnon like we signed Gill, like we signed Spence. So we get a couple of years out of them and then triple the sale. Doesn't matter what position they play. What is that? What kind of recruitment is that? It's insanity. To this day, the blueprint's still there. The philosophy has not changed. Exactly the same. Korea, Tommy, especially Paradise for Foodie. Oh, I love it. I love it. I had a Chinese last night, but oh man, just Singapore noodles. Just I can live on Singapore noodles as well. Just love Asian cuisine. Amazing. Fati story is it's just the press linking us to players we're not interested in, so they can scribble a hit piece saying player snub Spurs. It's all about damaging the club. Exactly. There are so many variables and there are so many reasons. It's hard to get into, but this is in terms of news agenda all around. A lot of it's to do with this, but especially us. Because we never sign the right players. We never sell the right players. So excuses like this are given. And Fati could just be lazy journalism or journalism put out there, propaganda put out there by Levy. Realistically, how long will Ange be given if the results don't go away? Not long at all. Not long by the owner, not long by the fans. I don't care if Robbie Williams is singing songs about him. And he is, well, he's not really singing them about him, is he? He's not really singing about him, but still, I just can't see it. I just can't see him staying for the long haul. Dan E, if Danny's still in the stream, I bet £100 with Danny that Ange won't last the season. He was like, he will last the season. I'll put £100 on it. So, and Danny's there. Danny sent it. Danny's just sent a message. I would have died a happy man if Spurs had won that Champions League. I wouldn't have died a happy man for the Champions League because you can get lucky and win the Champions League. You can get very lucky and win the Champions League. You can't get very lucky and win the Premier League. You just can't. You really, you cannot get lucky and win a 38-game marathon for me. But you can, I think you can win one game in the group stage at that time and qualify for the knockout stages. You can actually win just one game in normal time and still win the Champions League back then, which it's all about luck of the draw, isn't it? And we got very lucky in that run. Let's face it. It would have been magnificent, and I would have celebrated until the cows come home. But the big one for me is the Premier League. That's the big one. That's the big one. I would have, yes. Come on, people. Get likes up. Don't be Levy. Yes. What are we on? Come on. Are we close to 50? It'd be wonderful if we're close to 50. I haven't got onto this final segment, not in like detail anyway, but let's have a look. People, it's completely free to smash a like. 48. We're only 2 away. Oh, before we go, please make sure we've got people coming in and out of watching the show. So even though there's 44 people watching, there must have been a whole lot before that, I'd imagine. So if you haven't yet hit the like, please make sure you do. It's free, and subscribe too, also free, and hit the notification bell. Sign to fill in time for the show. Yeah, exactly. He will last. Let's see. You'll owe me £50. You'll owe me 50. You'll owe me 50. And 50 to charity. Yeah, 50 to charity as well, of course. Come on, mate. We would have won the Champions League for Arsenal. That's true. Yeah, that is very true. That is very true. But still, I'm a Premier League man. For that reason, I can see why I'd say that. But for me, if you win the Premier League, then automatically you can win the Champions League. You're like up there with one of the favourites to win the Champions League. But if you win the Champions League, you're not one of the favourites to win the Premier League. In my eyes anyway. 47 likes. It's 48 now. I love Korean food. Kimchi being a favourite. Their footballers aren't bad either. Right, we should have signed Kim Young-Hae. I'm not even going to get into that. That is one of the transfers that pisses me off the most. Opportunity to sign him from Beijing for £4 million. Son tells us to sign him. Son never says anything to the media about signing players, or he doesn't get involved with the media really, does he, Son? But he said, sign Kim Min-jae at centre-back. I'm not saying we should have done it simply off Son, but he was scouted by all the clubs in Europe. We should have sent scouts over there, and then we would have known to sign him, right? So Fenerbahce signed him. He has an incredible first season in Turkey. Quality season. I think Napoli signed him last summer for £8-9 million. Again, Son says, this guy's incredible. Everyone can see he's a top player, Kim Min-jae. We don't sign him again. We're desperate for centre-backs. We don't sign him again. Goes to Napoli, wins the Scudetto, and now he's at Bayern Munich playing with Kane. Oh, my days. We have messed up in the transfer window, and I love Kim Min-jae. He's one of my very, very top players, one of my very, very favourite centre-backs in the world. He's got everything. Dominant in the air, great positional sense, leader. Love Kim Min-jae. Right, okay. Hojbjerg, Dier, and others to go. Final segment tonight. This is very much could, and I emphasise the could, let's say. It's inevitable that there will be players leaving Spurs, probably loan moves, which is disappointing in itself because we need to start selling players. It's only been, outside of Kane, it's only been Harry Winks we've got money for. So Eric Dier, I'm sure people have heard of this one. Bayern Munich interested in Eric Dier. I don't know how. I don't know how, but Eric Dier, Bayern Munich, there's no fucking chance. That's all I've got to really say about that. And I tell you what, if he doesn't move, rip up his contract. He only has 12 months left anyway. It won't cost you a great deal, or let him rot in the reserves. Just let the guy rot. And just no interest in playing him. That's one of my biggest positives with Ange is the fact that he's not playing Dier. He's not even on the squad, is he? He's not on the subs bench. So that's a massive tick for Ange. And hopefully he's got the message. He should have got the message by now, Dier, that we don't want him. Ange doesn't want him. We don't want him at the football club. The fans don't want him at the football club. They're finally smelling the coffee. After Eric Dier's shit for 10 years, they're finally smelling the coffee. Nobody wants him here. The only person that wants Eric Dier here is Eric Dier. It's as simple as that. He's getting paid at the end of the day. But, I mean, who else is going to come in for him? The Bayern Munich rumours are ridiculous. I can't see another Premier League club, even down the bottom, that would take a punt on him. I think he's high championship at best. I really do. So it'd be Eric Dier and Kim Min-jae. Instead of back. No chance. So Hojbjerg to Man United. There could be some truth to this because Hojbjerg's been linked for a long time away. Again, he's not playing under Ange. He's not starting. Certainly not in the league games. I know he started the other day. And he looks like a man that's not happy, quite frankly. Linked with Atletico Madrid, linked with Bayern Munich. Everyone's linked. Bayern Munich linked with everyone. So linked with going back to Bayern Munich, Hojbjerg. So Man United, I guess it makes a little bit of sense because they're looking for a centre mid. Amrabat, Gravenberch. I'll be very surprised if they don't get a centre mid in over the next 24 hours. So they're looking out for one. Will Levy sell this guy? Will Levy sell Hojbjerg this late in the window? I think he will. I don't think that's an issue, but it's a big issue for me because I'll tell you what, Dan, I talked about it earlier when you mentioned it. I mentioned what you had to say on this situation earlier, and yeah, African Cup of Nations is coming. So we're going to lose Sarr and Basuma. We need backup. We really need backup there. For that reason alone, Hojbjerg has to stay. I don't rate him a great deal, and I wouldn't lose any sleep if say we didn't have Sarr and Basuma going to the African Cup of Nations and we had a little bit more depth. But at this stage of the window, there's no chance we're going to get a replacement. So for me, we can't sell him. We can't really sell him. But it does make sense that Man United would be interested. Could be lazy journalism again because of the Hodge thing. Højlund, Hojbjerg, both Danish. You'd be surprised at how bad journalism is in this country. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's just that. But Basuma and Sarr are not going to be there for 3 to 5 weeks. I think it can be African Cup of Nations, and that will leave us very, very light. Very, very light. We just have to get one injury after that, and we're in trouble. So that was it was a very good point, and something that I wasn't thinking about at all, to be quite honest. Now Spence, I'm not sure if he's joined Leeds or not, but he's highly linked with Leeds, which for me is odd because Rodon has already gone to Leeds on loan. And they both went to Rennes on loan. So Rodon and Spence both went to Rennes on loan. And it looks like they're both going to go to Leeds. They both were crap at Rennes. Rodon couldn't get into the Rennes team, and they played 3 centre-backs. And it's Rennes. Spence started, I think, apparently, Spence, well, not apparently, he wasn't starting towards the end. But his first game for Rennes, he was atrocious. Second game, he was better, and then after that, he was dropped. So Leeds going to take a punt on both of them, but he is linked. He is highly linked with Leeds, Spence. Great signing. Ndombele and Gio. So we go to the cam positions. Looking at pre-season, looking at the Fulham game, Gio will be playing. Lo Celso will be in the Spurs squad this season. He's not going anywhere. He'll play a large role. Maddison could be injured. Maddison, like Romero, gets lots of injuries. I mean, he's already been injured, hasn't he, Maddison? He's already been seen on crutches. So Lo Celso is going to get a lot of game time. And I'll take Lo Celso over Ndombele. And as I mentioned in the paper talk at the start, he's highly linked with Inter Milan. He's been rumoured to go back to Italy all summer, Ndombele, because he done okay at Napoli. Done okay, and they did win the Scudetto. But they're not interested. Apparently AC Milan threw their hat in. They're not interested. So Ndombele, hopefully to Inter Milan. He's not going to go for money, but just get him off the books. I don't want somebody there as toxic as Ndombele. Just throws his toys at the pram in that Morecambe game. That was unforgivable. 1-0 down to Morecambe. He was the worst player on the pitch, gets subbed off, and he just drags his heels. Unforgivable. Never want to see him in a Spurs shirt again. Even if that's a loan move, I don't care. Just get him out. Tanganga and Davis, they'll both stay. I know Tanganga and Davis have to stay because we won't hit our eight homegrown players that you need for the Premier League. So I'll be very, very surprised if either one of those. That's why you're not seeing any rumours in terms of clubs coming in for Tanganga and Davis. I think I saw Southampton looking at Tanganga apparently, but I can't see it. We cannot get rid of any more homegrown players, I don't think. So Davis and Tanga will stay. That means if Ben Davis stays, surely Reggie's got to go because we've got a Dogie, so we'll have 3 left backs. Reggie was linked with Real Sociedad. Reggie was linked with Real Sociedad because they were looking for a left back, but I think they signed a left back. Sanchez will probably be our third centre back. As bad as he was against Fulham, I think Sanchez is probably twice the player Dier is. That's not great praise, is it? But I'd rather have Sanchez about than Dier, but not by much. Sanchez is our third centre back. If Van der Ven doesn't make the game against Burnley, you can bet your bottom dollar that Sanchez will. So Reggie needs to go. Sanchez needs to go. I can't see it. We still got Scarlett. We've got Phillips. Both of those should be loaned out because they're not going to get game time. I think they're going to get very little game time, considering we're not in any cup competitions now. I don't think Ange is going to risk Scarlett or Phillips. Phillips just played 7 games for Blackburn last season. So for me, they need loan moves. They really do. We're not really loaning any of the younger players. Hopefully that Spencer Leeds goes through, but I don't like his toxicity more than anything. I don't like when I heard about his toxicity, I felt like Spence, it was somewhere we shouldn't be going. It's as simple as that. This season, sales. This season's sales. Great job, Winks and Kane. Greatest ever striker. One of our greatest ever players. Not replacing him and Harry Winks. They're the only 2 sales. Unbelievable. Right, we are coming to the end of the stream now. Final time. I'm going to get into the chat. So you got something you want to say? You got something you want to get at me at? Get in the chat before we go today. Munich want Dier to clean the bogs. That's always good for. Big up, Tommy. I'm a proud member of the Eric Dier isn't good enough committee. I've been for a long, even last summer when people were telling me he was world class because we finished 4th under Conte, and people weren't saying he was world class. That's exaggerating, but they were saying he should have been one of the centre backs of the season. He should have been one of the 2 centre backs of the season. Spurs fans were actually saying that, and they'll say they weren't saying that now, but they were. Some Spurs fans were. So I've been on the get Dier out committee for a long, long time. You probably have too, Philly. And a lot of people in the chat seem to have brains. I think most people in this chat have brains. So you can see that Eric Dier wasn't good enough for a long time. Injuries as well. 4 or 5 games. Yeah, it's a long time. It's a long time, the African Cup of Nations. Big up. Don't forget, Son has the Asian Cup as well. Dan and Tommy. Yeah, wow. That as well, of course. So that's your that's your left winger. Maybe that's where Gil comes in then. Maybe Gil is going to stay because then you've got Gil and Perisic. You've got Gil and Perisic fighting for the left, so that makes sense that Gil's going to stay. You'll have Gil and Perisic fighting for the left, and then you'll have Richarlison and who fighting up top. People are saying Son could do a better job than Richie. But what if Son's not there? And what if Richie's not there? Then what? Scarlett scored 4 goals for Portsmouth. We lack creativity in the middle without Basuma and or Manners. We've got a lot to do. This window. We've got a lot to do this window. There's not long left though, is there, Gio? Big up, Kaguma. Gio, Spence pocketed Mbappe last season, the game of his life. Yeah, I remember he had one amazing game. In fact, I think he had another good game before that. But he also had 2 or 3 games where he was absolutely shocking. These were the Ren fans saying it. And this was... and he got dropped. He got dropped for a lot of the final part of the season, so he couldn't have been that good. I would definitely take him over Emerson, though. Oh, I can't stand Emerson. I can't stand him. Cannot stand the player. So I'd take him over Emerson all day long. And he's homegrown. Tanganga going to Augsburg. Apparently, right. I never heard that one. I heard Southampton. Goguma deserves a medal for supporting Spurs streams on YouTube. She does. She's fantastic. I haven't seen Goguma for a while, though. I haven't seen Goguma for a little while. It's great. It's great to have her back. And great to see all familiar faces. Everyone here, many, many familiar faces. It's fantastic to see. Spurs streamers deserve more, but you are kind. She's always very, very generous, Goguma. Always. Gil injured. Yeah, he's. I think he had a hip surgery. In fact, I think he certainly had surgery. That's probably why we haven't seen him in pre-season, and that's probably why he'll stay because of the Asian Cup. I've missed that. I've missed the African Cup of Nations thing, and I've missed the Asian Cup. So that should be fun. Fun times. Then we've got a best goal scorer. We've got someone who scored 1 goal in 32 games, leading the line. So that should end well. Right. Okay. Yes, that is a good time to end today's stream. Let's get me full face, full volume before we go. Next show will be, I haven't confirmed it with the Hotspur boys yet. It will be some point on the weekend. Spurs Down Under, Total Hotspurs. Share the love you give me with them because they will be doing some form of reaction or preview show. I think it will be some form of reaction to the Burnley game, but it will be a weekend thing. Every weekend, Spurs Down Under will go live. You must have seen him on my show. Jason, must have seen on my Friday shows. If you've been watching my Friday shows, he's been coming on a lot. In fact, he hosted one of the Friday shows when I was away. So make sure you give them my love. Give them the same love you give to me, let's say, because there's some fantastic chaps. And it's not just him. You've got Delane and his brother, and we'll get some other Spurs guests too. So make sure you look out for that. I don't think I'll be streaming until Tuesday. Probably Tuesday. I might do something tomorrow because it's transfer window day. I might, if we actually sign anyone, I might do a pop-up show. But I don't know if I can. I'm not going to do it if we don't sign anyone because it's just depressing. There will not be much to talk about anyway. Just be going over the same thing. So the chances are the next show I'll be doing will be Tuesday. You'll see Danny again, and some other guests there. But look out for Saturday or Sunday show. Spurs Down Under. Thanks for joining me today. Thank you ever so much for the likes. Come on, we was on 49. Have we got to 50? You will always get below 50. It's just one of those things. You never get to 50. It's crazy. Oh, 52. Thank you ever so much. Thank you ever so much. Really do appreciate it. Transfer window closes in 22 hours. Fingers crossed we do something. We got Burnley Saturday after a shocking performance against Fulham out of the Carabao Cup. Good times ahead. Good times ahead. Peace out. Peace out. And as always, stay classy, Lily White. Stay classy.